Have you ever wondered why so many men over 60 slowly lose their strength, sensitivity, and confidence in the bedroom? And why almost no one is talking about the real solution? Here's the shocking truth. A simple kitchen spice, one you've probably walked past 1,000 times in the grocery store, may hold the power to naturally restore blood flow, awaken your senses, and help you feel like yourself again, without drugs, prescriptions, or embarrassment. I'm talking about cloves. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience in urology, hormone therapy, and sexual medicine. I've spent my life helping men overcome fatigue, erectile dysfunction, prostate problems, and low testosterone. And in that time, I've learned one thing. Nature often holds the answers we've been ignoring. And here's what most men don't realize. Cloves aren't just for cooking. They're one of the most powerful, underrated tools for male vitality on the planet. This tiny spice is packed with natural compounds that can support your circulation, your hormones, your nerves, even your libido. Yet almost no one over 60 is using it properly or consistently. In this video, I'll reveal the 10 incredible science-backed benefits of cloves for your penis and overall reproductive health. From boosting blood flow and testosterone to improving sleep and sensitivity, each benefit builds on the next, creating a ripple effect throughout your body. And make sure you stay until the end, because benefit number 1 could be the key to reigniting the strength and performance you thought was gone forever. Let's begin. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so now and turn on the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss another life-changing health tip designed specifically for men over 60. And if this video speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me create better, more helpful content for you. Alright, let's begin with the very first benefit, because without this, nothing else works. If you're over 60, the number one reason for weaker erections is poor blood flow, and this is exactly where cloves come in. Their natural compounds, especially eugenol, help open up your blood vessels, improve circulation, and send more oxygen-rich blood exactly where you need it most. Let's break it down. 10. Cloves improve blood flow down there. I remember sitting across from a patient, George, 67 years old, retired Navy veteran. Still sharp, still proud, but quietly frustrated. He looked me in the eye and said, "Doc, I just don't feel like a man anymore. I want to, but it's not working the way it used to." And I knew exactly what he meant. For most men over 60, the first silent thief of intimacy is poor blood flow. You don't feel as firm, you don't last as long, and sometimes you don't respond at all. But here's where cloves come in, and this is where things get interesting. Cloves contain a compound called eugenol. Now, eugenol isn't just a flavor or a fragrance, it's a natural vasodilator. That means it helps relax and widen your blood vessels, improving circulation throughout the body. And yes, that includes the arteries leading to the penis. When those vessels are constricted, which often happens with age, inflammation, or years of poor habits, blood has a hard time reaching the chambers that create an erection. You might still have desire, but your body just doesn't follow through. Studies have shown that eugenol helps reduce vascular inflammation, boosts nitric oxide availability, and improves endothelial function, the very lining of your blood vessels that controls how well they expand. I've seen men who could barely achieve a morning erection begin to feel that natural signal return after just a few weeks of consistent clove use, usually in the form of warm clove tea in the morning. Now, I want to be clear, cloves aren't magic. You don't chew one and wake up like you're 25, but when used regularly, they support better blood flow, naturally, gently, and with virtually no side effects. For men who've tried pills and felt either nothing or scary side effects, this simple shift can be a game changer. It's not about being young again, it's about reclaiming function, confidence, and connection. George started drinking clove tea every morning, nothing extreme, just a warm cup with 2 or 3 cloves steeped for 20 minutes. After about 3 weeks, he came back and smiled. He said, "Doc, something's changing. I feel alive down there again." And that's the power of circulation. When blood flows, life returns. But here's what most men overlook. Even if blood is flowing, something else might still be missing. Because without this next ingredient, your body can't switch on when it matters most. Let's talk about the molecule that actually triggers an erection and how cloves help restore it naturally. 9. They enhance nitric oxide naturally. One afternoon, I got a call from Tom, a 72-year-old retired electrician who'd been a patient of mine for years. He said, "Doc, I read something about nitric oxide and how it's important, but I don't really get what it is. And more importantly, do I still make it?" That question stuck with me, because the truth is, most men don't realize how essential nitric oxide is, especially as we age. It's the hidden spark behind every erection, yet it quietly declines after 60, like a switch that slowly fades out without warning. Nitric oxide is the chemical messenger your body sends to tell blood vessels, especially in the penis, to open up. Without it, even if you have good circulation, the blood doesn't get where it needs to go fast enough or stay there long enough. And guess what? By the time you hit 60, your nitric oxide levels can be less than half of what they were in your 30s. That's why many older men feel a delay in response, or a sense of disconnection from arousal. The body wants to perform, but the message just isn't getting through. Here's where cloves show surprising promise. Cloves are rich in antioxidants that help reduce oxidative stress, the very thing that interferes with nitric oxide production. When your body is inflamed or under cellular stress, nitric oxide can't do its job properly. But by lowering that inflammation and supporting healthy blood vessel lining, cloves actually help your body produce more nitric oxide naturally. It's like clearing out static, so the signal can finally be heard loud and clear. And it's not just theory. Research published in Phytotherapy Research found that compounds in cloves actively support endothelial health and improve nitric oxide bioavailability. I've had patients add clove tea or ground clove to their daily routine and report not just improved function, but a feeling of reconnecting, like their body was remembering how to respond again without forcing it. Tom eventually started taking clove tea regularly, along with a few other changes we made to his routine. A few weeks later, he told me, "Doc, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm waking up differently. I feel like something's waking up inside me again." That's nitric oxide, quiet, powerful, and essential. When you restore it, the results feel natural, effortless, and deeply satisfying. But here's the kicker. Even with improved blood flow and nitric oxide, many men still struggle with low energy, mood swings, and fading drive. That brings us to the next critical piece of the puzzle, your testosterone. And cloves may have something to say about that too. 8. They support healthy testosterone levels. It's amazing how many men I meet, strong, accomplished, proud, who quietly admit to feeling off in ways they can't quite explain. They say things like, "I'm just not myself," or "I don't have the same drive I used to." And more often than not, what they're really describing is the slow, silent decline of testosterone. It doesn't hit like a lightning bolt. It fades gradually. Less energy, less focus, less desire, and yes, less performance. But here's the good news. Nature may offer support in places we often overlook, and one of those places is your spice rack. Cloves, though tiny, have been used for centuries in traditional medicine as a male tonic. Ancient cultures believed they had the power to enhance vitality, stimulate desire, and restore masculine energy. Today, modern science is beginning to catch up with that wisdom. Studies on clove extract, especially in animal models, have shown increases in testosterone levels, sperm count, and even improved mating behavior. Now, while we're still waiting on large-scale human trials, the early data is encouraging. More importantly, I've seen how real-life patients respond when they begin using cloves consistently. Take Richard, for example. 65, retired school principal. He came to me complaining of fatigue, low motivation, and a lack of interest in intimacy that was affecting his relationship. We made some dietary adjustments and added clove tea to his evening routine. Nothing extreme. Just 3 or 4 cloves steeped in hot water, sipped slowly before bed. Within a few weeks, he wasn't just more active, he was more alive. He looked more alert. He started walking taller. And yes, things improved behind closed doors too. The reason is simple. Cloves contain antioxidants and compounds that may help protect Leydig cells in the testes. Those are the cells responsible for producing testosterone. When they're under oxidative stress, testosterone drops. But when you support them naturally, your body has a better chance to restore hormonal balance on its own. No injections, no side effects. Just steady, supported function. Richard said to me one day, "Doc, I feel like a man again, not because of some pill, but because my body is finally waking up." And that's exactly the point. You don't need to force it, you need to nourish it. But here's the thing. Even when hormones are improving, there's a hidden danger that can sabotage everything from circulation to sensation. It's something you can't see, but it's quietly inflaming your most sensitive areas. Let's talk about that next. 7. Cloves fight inflammation in the penis and prostate. A few years ago, I sat across from a man named Alan, 68 years old, former carpenter, hands strong as stone, but eyes filled with frustration. He told me that intimacy had become uncomfortable, not just emotionally, but physically. "There's this dull ache," he said, "and sometimes I feel swollen down there, but my doctor says everything looks normal." I've heard that more times than I can count. What Alan was describing wasn't structural, it was inflammation. And it's far more common in men over 60 than most realize. As we age, chronic low-grade inflammation builds up in the body, especially in areas like the prostate and penile tissue. It's not dramatic like an injury, it's subtle. A slow-burning discomfort, reduced sensitivity, pressure, and eventually, poor performance. It affects blood flow, it irritates nerve endings. And worst of all, it often goes untreated because the symptoms don't always show up clearly on scans or blood tests. This is where cloves become incredibly powerful. Eugenol, the active compound in cloves, is one of nature's strongest natural anti-inflammatories. Unlike over-the-counter medications that only mask the symptoms, cloves help calm inflammation at the root without harmful side effects, and they do it gently, over time, by reducing oxidative stress and supporting immune balance. I recommended clove tea to Alan, just a small, daily habit. He was skeptical at first, but gave it a shot. A few weeks later, he came back and said, "Doc, I can't explain it, but something feels easier, more comfortable. I didn't realize how tense I'd been until it started to ease." That's the effect of reduced inflammation. It doesn't just fix a problem. It lifts a burden you didn't even know you were carrying. Cloves also help the prostate, which tends to enlarge with age, often leading to nighttime urination, weak flow, or discomfort. Their anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties have been shown to protect prostate tissue and may help reduce swelling over time. When the inflammation goes down, everything else starts to function more smoothly, from arousal to urination to overall comfort. Alan's story isn't unique. I've seen this time and time again. Men who thought they were just getting older realize they were actually inflamed, and once that inflammation starts to resolve, the light comes back. But now, let me ask you this. What if the problem isn't just in your blood or your hormones, but in the nerves that carry pleasure itself? If things have started to feel numb or disconnected, you won't want to miss what's next. Psychics. They improve sensitivity and nerve response. Not long ago, I had a deeply honest conversation with a patient named Harold, 71 years old, married for over 4 decades. He told me something most men are afraid to admit out loud. "Doc," he said, "I can still perform sometimes, but it just doesn't feel the same. It's like my body shows up, but I'm not really there." That hit me, because it's not always about achieving an erection. Sometimes it's about feeling connected to it again, feeling alive in your own skin. As we get older, nerve response slows down. The tiny pathways that carry sensation from your skin, your pelvic floor, and, yes, your penis, become less responsive. Years of reduced circulation, inflammation, and even medications can dull that communication. It doesn't mean you're broken, it means the system needs support. And here's where cloves surprise a lot of people. Cloves have long been used in traditional medicine to stimulate the senses, and not just metaphorically. Their warming properties help increase blood flow and oxygen to nerve endings, especially when applied topically in diluted oil. More circulation means more nutrient delivery, more oxygen, and over time, improved sensitivity. It's like watering the roots of a dry plant. You may not see it right away, but slowly, life starts coming back. For Harold, I recommended something simple. In addition to his morning clove tea, he began using a homemade clove oil blend, just a few drops of clove oil diluted in coconut oil, massaged gently around the lower abdomen and inner thighs. Within weeks, he noticed not just improved physical sensation, but a deeper emotional connection with his wife. "I feel more present," he told me, "more aware, like I'm really there again, not just going through the motions." When nerves begin to wake up, something beautiful happens. Touch feels more intimate. Warmth is felt again. Clarity returns to that part of yourself that may have gone quiet. It's not just about stimulation, it's about reconnection. But while sensation and sensitivity are critical, they mean little if the spark of desire has faded. And for many men over 60, libido seems to vanish without warning, leaving you wondering where the fire went. The truth? It's not gone. It's just waiting to be reignited. Let's talk about how cloves can help bring that fire back. 5. They may boost libido and desire. Several months ago, I had a heartfelt talk with a man named Victor, 69 years old, happily married, no major health issues. But as he put it, something just felt flat. He said, "Doc, I love my wife. I still find her beautiful. But my drive, it's like someone turned the volume down and I don't know how to turn it back up." And that's something I hear more often than you'd think. For many men over 60, the body still works, the relationship is strong, but the spark, the desire, is missing. And when libido fades, it affects more than just intimacy. It can chip away at your confidence, your energy, your sense of self. Now here's where cloves offer something truly unique. While they're known for their anti-inflammatory and circulatory benefits, cloves have also been used for centuries in traditional medicine as a natural aphrodisiac. In ancient Ayurveda and Middle Eastern practices, cloves were often included in male vitality formulas, not just for physical performance, but to awaken desire, motivation, and masculine energy. Modern research backs this up. Animal studies have shown that clove extract can increase sexual behavior, enhance testosterone response, and stimulate certain areas of the brain that influence arousal. And while more human studies are still needed, the anecdotal evidence from men like Victor is powerful. I encouraged Victor to try clove tea, not just in the morning, but before bed, paired with quiet time, no screens, just connection. After a few weeks, he said something that stuck with me. "Doc, I didn't just feel like being close, I wanted to, and it wasn't forced, it felt real again." That's the shift cloves can help create, not a mechanical response, but a rekindling of emotional and physical desire that may have been buried under stress, fatigue, or hormonal changes. Cloves work subtly, gently awakening the body's own pathways. They don't override you, they help restore you. When desire returns, it brings more than intimacy. It brings lightness, confidence, and a feeling of wholeness. But while restoring libido is powerful, there's one gland in your body that often gets ignored until it causes real problems. It's small, it's hidden, but it plays a huge role in your comfort, your confidence, and your ability to function normally. And yes, cloves can help with that too. Let's talk about your prostate. 4. They help protect the prostate. I'll never forget when Gerald, a 66-year-old retired firefighter, came into my office looking tired, not physically, but emotionally worn out. "I'm up 4 or 5 times a night to use the bathroom," he said. "I can't sleep, I can't relax, and I'm worried it's something worse." Like so many men his age, Gerald was facing something extremely common: prostate enlargement. And while most doctors will tell you it's just a part of aging, that doesn't make it any less frustrating, uncomfortable, or even frightening. The truth is, your prostate may be small, but it plays an outsized role in your quality of life after 60. As the prostate grows, something that happens naturally in many men, it can press on the urethra, leading to weak flow, urgency, incomplete emptying, and that constant need to go during the night. But here's what most men don't realize. Inflammation and oxidative stress are major contributors to this process. And this is where cloves come in. Cloves are packed with antioxidants that help neutralize free radicals, the unstable molecules that damage healthy tissue over time. They also contain eugenol, a compound with powerful anti-inflammatory properties. That combination makes cloves uniquely supportive for prostate health. They help calm the inflammation that can make the prostate swell, while also protecting the cells from further damage. It's not an overnight fix, but it's a powerful step in the right direction, especially when used consistently. Gerald began drinking clove tea each night and added a sprinkle of ground cloves to his meals. Within a month, he told me, "Doc, I'm still getting up, but it's once, maybe twice. I'm finally sleeping through most nights again." And that kind of change makes a difference. When your prostate is calm, you feel more in control, less tension, less anxiety, and more freedom to enjoy your life. Protecting the prostate also protects your confidence. You're not constantly planning your day around the nearest restroom or losing sleep over every twitch or urge. It gives you back a sense of ease that aging often tries to steal. But here's something even more important. When the prostate is inflamed and circulation is poor, a deeper problem can start to develop, one that many men are too embarrassed to talk about until it's too late. I'm talking about erectile dysfunction, and believe it or not, cloves may have a role to play there too. Let's dig into that next. 3. Cloves combat erectile dysfunction, ED. There's a moment I'll never forget. A man named Robert, 70 years old, widowed for a few years but recently in a new relationship, sat across from me and said, "Doc, I finally met someone again. She makes me feel alive, but when the moment comes, my body doesn't follow." His voice cracked a little. He wasn't ashamed, he was frustrated. And like so many men, he thought it was just age catching up to him. But age alone isn't the problem. Erectile dysfunction is often a sign of deeper issues: circulation, inflammation, hormone imbalance, even early cardiovascular disease, and sometimes all of those things at once. What makes cloves so special is that they don't just address one piece of the puzzle, they touch several at the same time. Poor blood flow? Cloves help open up blood vessels. Inflammation? Eugenol in cloves helps reduce it. Low nitric oxide or sluggish nerve response? Cloves gently support those too. It's rare to find a natural remedy that can work on so many layers without harsh side effects or risky interactions. Robert had tried the little blue pill before. It worked, sort of, but left him with headaches and heart palpitations. He told me he wanted something that felt more natural, more sustainable. So we started simple: daily clove tea, a few dietary tweaks, and some light exercise. Nothing radical, just consistency. A month later, he smiled and said, "It's not just coming back, it feels like it's mine again." That's the real difference. When your body begins to function again on its own, without force, without fear, it builds trust in yourself. And that trust turns into confidence. It doesn't matter how old you are. That feeling never gets old. I tell my patients this often. ED is not a failure of manhood. It's a signal. Your body is whispering that something needs support. And cloves, in their small and humble form, offer exactly that kind of support. Targeted, nourishing, and natural. Still, as powerful as these physical improvements are, there's one invisible factor most men completely overlook, something that can sabotage testosterone, circulation, and sexual health in one fell swoop. It's not physical, it's something that happens every night, or rather, doesn't happen enough. Let's talk about sleep, and how cloves can help you reclaim it. 2. They help you sleep, and that heals everything. I once had a patient named Samuel, a 74-year-old former high school coach. He came to me not for performance issues, but for something more subtle. "Doc," he said, "I'm exhausted all the time. I wake up more tired than when I went to bed, and everything else just feels off." And he was right. His blood pressure was creeping up, his testosterone was low, and he hadn't had a restful night of sleep in years. Like many older men, he had no idea how closely sleep was tied to his overall vitality, including his intimacy and energy. Sleep isn't just rest. It's when your body heals, regenerates, and resets critical systems, your hormones, your brain, your heart, and yes, your reproductive function. Poor sleep raises cortisol, the stress hormone that directly interferes with testosterone and sexual performance. It disrupts your nitric oxide production, impairs circulation, and makes it harder for your body to respond when you need it to. This is where cloves offer a surprising yet powerful benefit. Their warming, calming properties, especially in the form of tea, can help relax the nervous system, ease muscle tension, and signal the body that it's safe to rest. Cloves contain mild sedative compounds that don't knock you out like a sleeping pill, but gently nudge your body into a deeper, more restorative sleep. I suggested to Samuel that he start drinking a cup of clove tea before bed, just 3 or 4 cloves steeped for 20 minutes. Within 2 weeks, he told me he was sleeping more soundly. Within a month, his energy was back. He said, "Doc, I didn't realize how bad I felt until I started feeling better." And that's something I see time and again. Once sleep improves, everything else starts working better. Mood, focus, blood pressure, testosterone, even erectile function. Clove tea became part of his evening routine. He said it helped signal to his body that the day was over and rest could begin. No side effects, no grogginess, just natural restoration. The beauty of better sleep is that it quietly transforms the background of your entire health. It doesn't shout, it whispers, and when you listen, your body responds. Now, we've talked about blood flow, hormones, nerves, desire, and even rest, but there's one final reason I believe every man over 60 should consider cloves. It goes beyond symptoms. It's about reclaiming your identity and feeling like a man again. Let's bring it all home with the most powerful benefit of all. 1. They help you feel like a man again. A man named Charles came into my office not long ago. He was 73, a retired engineer, and carried himself with the quiet strength of someone who had built a solid life. But when we sat down and started talking, I could see something had shifted. "I'm not depressed, Doc," he said, "but I don't feel like me anymore. I miss feeling alive, as a man." That struck me deeply, because what he was really saying wasn't just about erections, or libido, or energy. It was about identity, about feeling present, confident, and fully alive in his own skin. So many men over 60 experience this silent fading of self. It doesn't happen overnight, it's subtle. First you notice you're more tired, then less responsive, then more distant, emotionally, physically, even spiritually. It's not always just about function, it's about how you feel in your body and in your role as a man. That's why this final benefit of cloves is so important, because it ties everything together. Cloves don't just support one system. They touch nearly every part of the male body that contributes to performance, energy, and emotional strength. They boost circulation, calm inflammation, support hormones, awaken nerve response, and even soothe the mind through better sleep. But more than that, they help you reconnect with your body, your confidence, and with the part of yourself that may have grown quiet over the years. Charles started small. A daily cup of clove tea, a little clove oil massage around the lower abdomen a few times a week, and some patience. A few months later, he came back to my office, not to report some miracle, but with something even better. He smiled, shook my hand firmly, and said, "Doc, I feel like myself again." And that's the power of nature. It doesn't force, it reminds, it awakens what's already inside you, waiting to return. Cloves may be small, but when used consistently, they can help rebuild the foundation of what aging slowly takes away. Not just performance, but presence. Not just desire, but connection. Not just function, but confidence. So if you're a man over 60 and you felt something slipping, quietly, gradually, know this. It's not too late, and what comes next may be even better than you remember. Now let's bring it all together, because knowing the benefits is one thing, but using cloves the right way, consistently, safely, and effectively, that's what makes the real difference. Let's walk through exactly how to do that, step by step. Conclusion. I've spent over 3 decades helping men regain not just their health, but their sense of self. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. What most men are really searching for isn't just performance or energy. It's a way to feel whole again, to feel confident, vital, and fully present in their relationships and their bodies. That's why cloves matter more than you might think. We've talked about 10 powerful ways cloves can support a man's health after 60. They improve blood flow, restore nitric oxide, support testosterone, and reduce inflammation in sensitive areas like the penis and prostate. They help reawaken nerve response, bring back desire, and soothe the mind through better sleep. They don't just treat symptoms. They work together to restore your foundation from the inside out. What I love about cloves is that they're simple. No prescriptions, no complicated routines. Just a humble spice, one you can sip in a tea, sprinkle in your meals, or infuse into an oil. And yet, the impact can be profound. I've seen men go from feeling numb, tired, and disconnected to feeling grounded again, motivated again, present again. They didn't need a miracle. They just needed to start. If you're watching this and something inside you is saying, "I want that," I'm telling you, it's not too late. You're not broken. You're just waiting to be supported in the right way. And nature, in all its quiet wisdom, has already given us some of the tools. So try the tea. Be consistent. Give your body the chance to remember how strong and capable it really is. Because sometimes the smallest change, a cup of clove water each morning, can lead to the biggest shift in how you feel as a man. This isn't about chasing your youth, it's about reclaiming your power, one small habit at a time. If this video spoke to you, even just one part of it, I'd be grateful if you took a moment to support this message. Give it a like so more men over 60 can find the natural tools they've been missing. Share it with a friend, a brother, or someone you care about who might quietly be going through the same struggles. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What part of this resonated with you most? Have you tried cloves before? What changes have you noticed? Your stories help others feel less alone, and your voice matters here. And if you'd like to go one step further in supporting this work, feel free to donate to the channel using the link in the description. Every dollar helps us continue creating science-backed, empowering content specifically for older men looking to reclaim their health and confidence, without relying on medications or empty promises. So go ahead, like, comment, share, or donate if you feel moved to do so. I appreciate your time, your trust, and your presence here more than you know. Let's keep the conversation going, and let's keep growing together.